So I got a sub from Subway today because for whatever reason I was just really craving it. And all I did was get a footlong Italian BMT, and that shit cost me $11.65. What happened to $5 footlongs?
I try not to complain too much, but we just went to Taco Bell and got food for four of us, and it was $53. This morning, we went to an upscale breakfast restaurant and got breakfast for all four of us, including an appetizer, and that was $66. So Taco Bell is almost the same exact price to feed a family of four as it is to go to an upscale breakfast restaurant. Make it make sense. I don't understand. I mean, I understand inflation's crazy, but this has to be greed. Taco Bell, I mean, we got 3 cheesy gordita crunches and they were $14. So they're like $4 or $5 a piece now for a taco at Taco Bell. A beefy 5-layer burrito was $3.89. I don't understand how this can't be inflation. Taco Bell used to be like $1. You could get $1, a beefy 5-layer burrito was like $2. I don't know, man, make it make sense. This is insane to me, the price. This has to be price gouging.
So I live in a townhome and they just recently increased our rent. So when we first moved in, it was 2021 and we were paying $1,910 a month. That includes our internet, so that doesn't include, other utilities. So that to me was expensive, and I was like, that's really expensive. So this year when we signed our lease, they said that they were going to increase our rent. And then to find out when they did increase it, it was actually $300. So the increase was $300. So now with that increase of $300, I just don't understand how people can do this. So I don't understand how they expect people to live, because between me and my husband, we make enough that we should be able to live comfortably, and this is a stretch. I have my brother that lives with me as a roommate, luckily, but this is just absolutely ridiculous, and I don't understand how people who are living off of minimum wage, which is literally $15 now, how are you guys surviving? How are you guys buying groceries? How are you guys having children? How are you guys paying for your car payments? I just don't understand, how much longer is it going to be before people are literally just homeless at this point? And they're just taking all this money and people are just suffering. And I just don't understand how anybody can fucking afford anything right now. It's just fucking ridiculous.
The US is completely unhinged when it comes to our prices. So I'm in the middle of the country right now. I'm in the middle of Missouri, visiting my parents where they live, and I just went to a local chain coffee shop and got a coffee. This latte, it's a medium oat milk latte. It cost me almost $8. I'm not in a big city having a fancy coffee. This is a drive-through coffee in the middle of Missouri just cost me $8. I swear, if millennials can't even afford their little treats anymore.
I'm fed up with how much it costs to eat. It's to the point where it's how is we supposed to be the moms like the TikTok girlies where we taking our kids to the aquarium and it's $65 per kid to get in the aquarium when we could barely feed them? I spent $425 on groceries a week and a half ago, and I'm running out of stuff already. I look in the freezer, ain't nothing left but a half a pack of ground turkey and a whole chicken. Where is the rest of the food at? I just grocery shopped. The juice gone, eggs dwindling. It's too much. Then you can't even eat out either. Why is Wingstop $18.99 for a 10-piece? Since when? It used to be $10 $10 for a 10-piece with the fries back in the day. What is going on? Chipotle, $18. What was $18? What was $18? Subway, Panera, and don't even get me started on trying to eat healthy, because now I got to buy my fruits and vegetables weekly, every 4 days, not even weekly. It's just ridiculous how much money you got to spend on food. I don't even want to be hungry no more, for real.
I just budgeted my paycheck that I get tomorrow, and I have $317 left over after my bills for 2 weeks. I'm gonna have to be a hermit.
What I'm about to show you is absolutely crazy. So just indulge me for a second. I'm going to draw you a picture, okay? I live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The minimum wage here is $7.25 an hour. Overtime after 40 hours worked is time and a half. That equals out to $10.88 an hour after 40 hours worked. At 40 hours a week, you'd be making $290 a week, and that is $1,160 per month. That's $15,080 per year before tax. In Philadelphia, you get about 81% of your income after taxes. So after taxes per month, you'd be making $939.60. Okay, now hear me out, because I'm just trying to prove a point here. If you worked 80 hours a week, which no position is offering you, just for posterity, you'd be making $725.20 per week, $2,980 per month before taxes, $37,710.40 per year before taxes. Per month after taxes, you'd be making around $2,349.64 after taxes. The average rent for a one-bedroom in Philadelphia is $1,425, but you know they require you to make 3 times the rent per month. So that is $4,275. You're not getting that. Even at 80 hours a week. On minimum wage, you're not getting a one-bedroom apartment at the average rate. The absolute cheapest thing I found on Zillow just now was a studio apartment with no appliances, just a toilet and in a room, basically, for $950 a month. Times 3, $2,850. You're not even getting that. You're not even getting the cheapest unit that I found for rent in the entire city. A room with a toilet in it. You don't even qualify. You don't. Now, mind you, I have not even talked about bills, heating, electricity, car, insurance, health insurance, fucking food, for God's sakes. And if your argument is, oh, well, minimum wage jobs are for teenagers, why don't you go to college? Okay, do you want to talk about the price of college? Do you want to talk about finding somewhere to live while you're in college? And this is not even my situation. I make enough money, I'm comfortable, but it doesn't take much for me to sympathize with somebody that's not in my situation. So try sympathy before you tell me that we shouldn't raise the minimum wage, okay?
Well, I had an eye-opening experience with my son this weekend. So my son graduated from college 6 months ago. And when he graduated, he was going to move back in with us so that he could find a job here in this local area and save up enough money to move out on his own. Had no problem with that. So it's been about 6 months. He has saved almost every single dime. He works a 40-hour-a-week job, makes $40,000 a year, which back in my day was sustainable to be able to live. Apparently that's not the case anymore. You can't live on $40,000, which makes no sense to me. So we were looking online at Zillow, Google, to find apartments and houses within his budget, a house to rent because he has a dog. So we said, let's write them all down and let's go check them out, because pictures don't tell you what's really going on, y'all. So we drove around to some of these, and I can't even tell you, some of them I didn't even feel comfortable driving down the street. They were in really, really shady parts of town, looked like a war zone. The whole house looked like it was off kilter. A lot of work to be, it just looked like it should be uninhabitable. Don't rent this. It should just be tore down, right? And then when we went to apartments, these apartments that were within his price range, and when I say price range, they were still going for $800 a month. These $800 a month apartments I didn't feel comfortable with him living in these apartments. Like, when I say those two look like they should have just been torn the hell down, they should have been. The only ones that are decent, like, he found a studio apartment that's in a nice neighborhood, $1,400 for 485 square feet. That is more than my mortgage, right? And then regular apartments, not even like glamorous apartments, just one bedroom apartment that has normal square footage is anywhere from $1,300 to $1,700. We live in Montgomery, Alabama. We're not in a big metropolitan area. I don't understand how the housing market has gotten so donkey, okay? And everybody says, well, then he should just buy a house since it's cheaper, mortgage is less than rent. Well, nobody will give him a mortgage loan because he has no credit. Not that he has bad credit. He has no credit. He didn't want to get into debt. So he doesn't have any credit to show for it. So it's like a lose-lose situation. I don't know how they're living. I don't know if he can move out right now because I personally don't feel comfortable with the places he can afford moving to. And he can't afford the normal standard shit that I would have afforded back when. How are people doing this, and how do we expect our young kids, he's not young, he's 25, but how do we expect our youth to get ahead? I mean, really.
You know, I really try to keep it cute. I try to be understanding, be an adult about this whole inflation situation. But at this point, they're playing in our fucking faces. So originally, I was seeing stuff go up 20, 50 cents or whatever. But what I really want to talk about is honestly the price of French fries and tater tots. Tater tots, more importantly. They were $2.99. Then they went up to $3.29, which was okay. They are now $5.99. $5.99 in the stores. And I am at my wit's end. I'm finna just... I
think one of the most frustrating parts about being a young person today is that we see the ways that things could be better, right? Like, wouldn't it be great if my landlord wasn't legally allowed to raise my rent 20% one year and then do it again the next year? Wouldn't it be great to have a 4-day work week or even like a 6-hour work day? Wouldn't it be great to have more public transit systems so we wouldn't have to rely so heavily on cars all the time? But whenever we say these things, people in power and the older generations are like, you know, that's gonna cost money, right? You don't think we're paying for this already? It's just so infuriating that it costs so much to just exist. And none of us really even asked to be here, right? And we have solutions, like the solutions are out there and they may not solve everything, but they would make it better. And the people who are supposedly supposed to represent us are like, oh yeah, you have a little idea? Oh, that's cute. Sorry, I have a luncheon to go to. Like, okay, guess we're screwed then, thanks. And I know that America is objectively not the worst place in the world to be, right? But I don't see how wanting better has become like a hot topic. Like, why is it such a divisive thing? Like, this resistance to like things that are very obviously going to help everybody is just so frustrating because like, why? I feel like people forget that we are where we are right now, like in terms of equality and society, because people chose to make such a stink. Like, maybe we should listen to the people. Just a thought.
The average cost for one person living in America right now is $3,500. What the hell is going on? Oh no, and I'm feeling this. I feel like the last time I went to Starbucks, I got like a $10 drink, like for like some strawberries in it. I swear to God. Guys, I drive a Jetta with a 4-cylinder engine. I paid $50 in gas for regular gas. So I live by myself. I mean, I don't spend a lot of money, yet I'm almost spending $2,000 a month. I haven't gone out shopping in like 6 months. I literally eat the same thing every day. And yet I have to be spending $2,000. Apparently, the average American only makes $56,000 per year. So you're telling me the average American only saves $14,000 a year. And that's if they don't spend it on random BS. So I made this account because, you know, I'm a 20-year-old. I live by myself. I go through all like normal stages that everyone else had to go through, and I just want to record it. But I try doing everything correctly. I don't have a car payment. I don't spend a lot going out, like, but it's still $2,000 for me. So if any of you are still living with your parents, let that be a reminder and let that sink in that will soon be you, my guy. But guess what? I will be there for you. Stay strong, soldiers.
Okay, y'all, so I know I haven't been on here in a while, but I had to take a trip to Walmart, right? And I know everybody been talking about inflation or whatever, but how did I not realize lunch meat? Y'all, lunch meat? Look at this fuckery. $9 for some meat? Y'all. No. We're gonna come over here. is for $347. Great value. Anyways, I'm just taking up y'all's time. Comment below what y'all meat prices are, because at Walmart it's ridiculous in Oklahoma. Them loud ass workers, see, that's why you can never get no help at Walmart. Everybody always in the back talking.
I saw this TikTok the other day about how we all feel broke, and they were saying that during the Great Depression, the average American was making $4,300 a year, which is the equivalent of like $95,000 by today's standard. So I had to go look that up. I had to do my own research, and this is what I found. So I found this list of the cost of things in 1938, which is at the very end of the Great Depression, okay? So you can see the list. Now I'm going to tell you what that actually amounts to in today's numbers. So the wage for 1 year in 1938 was averaging $1,731, which is the equivalent in today's standard of $37,193. So that was where I was having a big disbelief, was in the amount of wages that they made in the Great Depression versus today. Because I make more than that, but it's saying that the national average is $63,400 for today. Now, while I can buy that $37,000 is not a lot of money by today's standard, here's where the real kicker is. In the Great Depression, a house cost $3,900. That amounts to an inflation rate of $83,000, where in actuality, houses are averaging over $420,000. Yeah. That's why we feel broke. Oh, but it gets even worse, because cars in the Great Depression cost $860, which amounts to about $18,000. But in actuality, cars are going for over $40,000 now. Here's the big one. $420 a year for tuition at Harvard, which should be $9,024. Now that's about what an average college costs these days. Harvard today is $54,000 a year. So during the Great Depression, they had to spend 2.25 times their salary in order to get a house. And by today's standards, you have to spend 6, almost 7 times your salary to get a house. A car costs less than half of their salary, whereas by today's standards, you are spending almost your whole salary for a year buying a car. I was basing all of those numbers off of people who make $63,000 a year, which does not include me, which is why I and so many of my friends feel broke.
The American dream is dead. And that's it. It's this kind of home that used to be the end goal for so many people just like me. But now these homes are selling for $655,000. But there's a whole generation that used to be able to buy something like this on a very modest income. So just like many of you, I was raised by 2 baby boomers who made the American dream happen. This house was listed in April of 2023 for $550,000. But it sold 2 months later for more than $100,000 over asking. But baby boomers, just like my parents, were able to buy this house for just under $300,000. Now, the 3X rule says you shouldn't spend more than 3 times your household income on your house. So boomers would have only needed a $98,000 household income to buy this home in 2002. Per person, that's $49,000. Now, although that is slightly above average, it's not at all what we have to go through. For millennials to buy this house, you'll need a combined income of $218,000. So each individual will need to earn an income of $109,000. That is more than twice the national average. Now, I'm not showing you all of this so we can go place blame, but I am pointing it out because yes, things have gotten more difficult. But if you're anything like me, you still want the American dream, and I'm going to do exactly what it takes to get it. Even if that means having more than twice the national average, I'm gonna have my family in a house like that. Like, follow, and comment what your thoughts are.